and welcome back to HCS Weekly.
I thought, yo, this is my life. I have to go pro in Halo.
In my head, thought that was more efficient, and I guess I was right.
He was like the god. We would have to 2v1 like just to beat this guy. Like
I don't know, man. I was reaching in. You're like, oh, see you guys later.
A lot of Halo in my life, man. It's been a fun journey.
I love it. Hello, welcome back to HCS Weekly, your weekly destination for all things HCS. I'm your host, ShyWay, and we are back yet again. The final episode before Dreamhack Atlanta. And today we've got our Dreamhack Atlanta pre-show, but of course, there's other stuff happening in Halo today. It's kind of a busy day for Halo. Honestly, if you're here right now, you probably know what's going on. We got Twitch Rivals happening. We got about 20,000 people concurrently watching Master Chief Collection, which is insane. Just seeing a lot of people watching Halo again is exciting, and seeing all these OGs playing, competing against each other in Twitch Rivals is exciting as well. So we're going to have to talk about that a little bit. We're going to have to talk about our Atlanta, Dreamhack Atlanta, coming up in just a couple days, and that's the direction of the show. We got Onset coming on as well. Before we get there, we have our news. Now, typically, I've got MattyRums coming on for the news, but unfortunately, Matty is busy today. He can't make it. He's left me some jot notes here. I'm going to speed read my way through these. I've not read them yet, so bear with me, guys. But we have our topic one. Of course, you guys know Twitch Rivals is currently happening. Legends of Halo series announced. It's happening now. We've got 4 current or ex-pro players who are captains, which they've announced. Matty has written all of these in past tense that I'm reading out, but here you go. You got the graphic on screen here. First series is Halo Reach on PC. We got 4v4 BTB show matches, and of course your captains T-Squared, Snipe Down, Lethal, and Fear itself. Since this will be a series, hopefully we'll see a tournament for each MCC title. Very interesting point, Matty, and I actually heard a hint about that, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I think there's a chance that they might actually have a Rivals tournament through all of the Halo titles, which would be amazing. We've got the MCC Flight 3 update as well. So just a recent update that came out. We've got extended, so a further extension on the flight, which is excellent. You can play till November 18th, I think at least. I wonder if they'll go even farther with it. A new patch released. There were a number of issues with the game that they're currently looking into. So input delay, server issues, getting stuck in menus, miscellaneous crashes, all this stuff. They're listening, they're looking into it, trying to fix it. Of course, input delay, especially on mouse and keyboard, that's a big one. I know a lot of people are talking about that. We'll work on implementing push to talk, a big feature people are requesting, and then removing chat filtering, because I know the chat has been like over filtered or something is what people are saying. So they're going to remove that for now and find the best kind of sweet spot for it. All these details are on halowaypoint.com. There's an article. MattyRums has it on noobcombo.com. You can also see it on the HCS Twitter, and it'll link you to all of this information in detail. Our third topic here, Dreamhack Atlanta schedule. We should have a graphic for this coming right up. We've got our schedule for Dreamhack Atlanta here. Doors open at 10 a.m. on Friday, November 15th. Halo 5 2v2 signups will take place on site from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. On Saturday, the 16th. And the graphic shows 2v2 grand finals will be taking place before the H3 4v4 grand finals. So we'll have our losers finals. We'll have the grand finals of Halo 5. Unfortunately, that's all we're going to get of Halo 5 is just the grand finals coming up right before we get our grand finals of Halo 3. But overall, tons of Halo action to enjoy all 3 of those days. So hopefully you guys are there for the action. I will be there. Onset will be there as well. Should be pretty exciting. We've also got our Dreamhack Atlanta seeding and pools, and I'll try to run through this quick. Our top 5 seeds for the event. We've got Tox Gaming, Lux Gaming, Team Mantra, Simplicity, Esports, and Infinite. Pool A is Tox, Rain, RBG, and TBD. The TBDs are from the open bracket, whoever makes it into these pools. Pool B is Lux Gaming, Believe the Hype, Chaotic, TBD. Pool C is Mantra, Divi, Cloud, 8, 80-20, and TBD. And then we have Pool D, Simplicity, Esports, Infinite, Unlimited, and TBD once again. So for our topic 6 tournament results, there are no tournament results to talk about today. We don't have any recent tournaments. We will have some new results coming up, though. Our upcoming tournaments are November 15th to 17th, Dreamhack Atlanta, of course, that's the big one. And then Sunday on the 17th is a NorCal Halo CE San Fran LAN at the Emporium SF. So if you're in NorCal, you want to get some Halo CE action going on Sunday, feel free to do so. That is an event that we have going on. So everything that you heard here in the news can all be seen on noobcombo.com, guys. All these details are present there. You can go check that out and find out more. Let's get into today's interview, our predictions, our Dreamhack Atlanta pre-show with Onset. God damn, I got right to the end of it, and then I botched your name.
That's fine. Don't worry, I've been called worse things. Like, trust me. I've had
What have you been called?
Matt Hatchet. I've had Mark Thatcher. I've had Offset. You can imagine all the jokes I get about that.
Onset. Oh.
Yeah, I've had all the Call of Duty guys when I casted with them. Every time I walked into a room, it was Offset. Woo! And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, it's Onset. You know this. Anyway, how are you,
That's
mate?
fine.
You all right?
I'm good. How you doing, man?
I'm really good. I had a good week away in Bucharest doing some FIFA.
Yeah.
And super excited to come and visit your wonderful lands and over in North America and
Yeah,
do some
that's
Halo.
good too. I'm not sure if John grabbed it. I actually got a link to that tweet that you were over in Bucharest, and maybe you can get the little photo of it. But I don't. There it is, right there. You tweeted about it. That must be pretty exciting, going over to Romania to talk FIFA. I guess, right? Is that like how long are you out there doing that?
I was out there for about a week or so. It was the first major of the year. We've been in Bucharest for FIFA a lot in the last 12 months or so, like a lot.
Okay.
And we're going to be back there next week after I get back from Atlanta.
Right.
So super busy, and it was really good. Like, it was an amazing tournament.
Yeah.
Kid called Tex won the tournament again. He's just a freak, and yeah. But Halo's what we're here to talk about. Let's talk
Of course,
about Halo.
yeah.
FIFA's done. I'm out of Bucharest. I'm back home.
Oh, that's good that you're moving around a lot, though. That's incredible. Like to go from Romania to North America. I'll be seeing you soon, and then back to Romania. That's pretty unbelievable. But like you said, we're talking about Halo. We've got our announcement post for all of the casters, the talent that's going to show up at the event. I think we have that somewhere that we can post as well. But pretty exciting. In the meantime, we have Twitch Rivals that's currently happening right now. And I'm sorry, Mark, I've taken you away from. You're probably watching Twitch Rivals in the background, or you were currently
anything
Yeah.
for you, Alex. Anything for you, buddy.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. We're both kind of making sacrifices here because I was watching it as well, and it's pretty exciting. Like, what do you think? Have you ever seen Twitch Rivals before?
Yeah, I've watched Twitch Rivals. Obviously, I do some Apex work as well. I'm a big
Right.
fan of that game. So they've had Apex on there quite a lot, and it's a really fun way to present a game to a new audience, especially on PC with Reach as well. We've got a lot of awesome people like Summit involved, and it's also great for like the people who have been playing the game for years and years and years, have an opportunity to have a little bit of fun. I know there's a competitive element to it, and there's quite a lot of money on the line, but
Yeah.
it's a great shop window to show a game that we all know and we all love and we've played for so many years to people who haven't seen it before. And that PC community, it's a good way of kind of giving them a warm embrace towards Halo, just sort of introducing them and saying, hey, look, this is a fun
Yeah.
game. You should try it out.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's such a great way to showcase the action. We were talking about this. They got the one central stream and then 16 other POVs. You
Yeah.
can jump around yourself, or you can just watch the central broadcast. And like you said, Summit is playing it as well. And Summit, of course, a Halo fan. The guy currently has, I think, like
Huge Halo
15.
fan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
15K viewers or something right now, which is super exciting. Have you been watching any of his stream, kind of like his thoughts of the game so far? Have you?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the man pick up one of these. I
Yeah,
thought this was
he's the-
just
I
for
think he's the only one.
spreadsheets, but yeah, apparently it's not. No, there's a few people who use a mouse and keyboard. There's a few,
yeah.
and I think I'm pretty sure that Giggs is using it. I might have to confirm
Okay.
that, but yeah, I want to know if Hysteria is using it as well, because obviously he's been playing. I think he's probably forgotten what a controller is these days, but he might be
Yeah.
playing with mouse and keyboard because he's obviously insane at Fortnite and other games.
Right.
So yeah, but it looks fun. It looks super fun. As I say, it's a great shop window for people to watch Halo and enjoy Halo and have a bit of fun. And yeah, hopefully it's a good way. I think the good thing about Twitch Rivals is the fact that it's something that a lot of new games are kind of indulging in, and it's something that they present, and it presents Halo to the right audience, right? We're doing something that other esports titles are doing, that other fun games are doing, and it doesn't feel like we're kind of chasing the curve like we have
Right.
maybe for a few years. It's kind of like, hey, look, we're doing what everyone else is doing at the moment. We want to be relevant. We want to be in front of people, and it's a smart thing to do.
Yeah, we do kind of have to get out of this, like when the host introduced the game, he's like, oh, it's nice to finally go back to Halo, the old Big Daddy, like, way back in the day or whatever. It would be nice to get out of that kind of niche
yeah.
like category that we're in, where we're like the old guys, like, and just kind of start to make a new wave to innovate again, and hopefully that starts to happen. But like you said, it's nice to have us being presented in this way instead of kind of chasing and being one of these titans again is really what we need here. I don't know if you were listening to the host as well. Did you hear him hint at the possibility of having other Halo games? What do you think of that? Starting with Reach, and then I guess 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through.
I'm fine apart from everything that with everything you said apart from
Except
the last
for 4.
couple of words. But we'll just kind of gloss
I
over that.
hesitated
for now.
a bit when I said it. I was like,
I mean, my
Yeah.
views on Halo 4 are fairly obvious. But again, it's fun, isn't it? You know, it's the opportunity again to broadcast all of these games, all this wonderful collection of Halo that we've all played. And it is the old school, right? It is the game that everyone played when they were growing up. All these huge content creators, they lived on Halo. They got introduced to gaming with Halo, and to go back through memory lane, especially at this time as well, we've got obviously such a big couple of years ahead for Halo.
Yeah.
Building this little foundation here, setting these little stones towards Infinite is such a smart way to turn people back onto Halo that might have kind of disappeared a little bit in the past, and then when Infinite drops, those people are going to have their interest peaked. So it's as I say, just smart decisions.
Do you think 2020 is the year of Halo? Do you think it's going to happen?
I hope so.
I hope
We've
so.
waited long enough. Come on, let's have a big year. I know that with the roadmap that we had, revealed, and I've got a really positive feeling about Halo in 2020. I think everyone's on the cusp of breaking down because we haven't had a new game for so long. But when it comes, the excitement's there. Everyone wants to play a new Halo game. Everyone wants to get their teeth into it. And we want to see competition again. We want to see that first few events where you don't know what's going to happen, where it's carnage and you're seeing this new stuff and this new meta and the meta develop and all the fun stuff that we haven't been able to do for so long.
Some new rivalries too would be nice. I'm tired of the old Snipe Down. They're still pushing the Snipe Down lethal rivalry. Is this a thing?
We've got nothing else, have we? Have anything else? I mean, should we start? I'll tell you what, ShyWay, we're going to start a rivalry on the desk. It's going to be me versus. I don't know how we're going to do it. I think you're too nice, and I think I'm too nice. So I don't know. We'll work out a way.
I don't know. This event's going to be interesting. Do you know my role for the event? It doesn't say the role in the announcement. I'm hosting. Yeah.
Hey.
I have never hosted. First of all, I love Lottie. I think she's amazing, and she's only on here because she couldn't make it apparently. Yeah. The whole dynamic is going to be interesting. What I'm hoping is we just have some amazing, super nerdy, in-depth Halo discussions on the desk that we may not otherwise have or something. But
I mean, you got 4 nerds with you, so don't worry about it. Just don't take
good options. Yeah.
Am I allowed to swear on here? One word. Just don't take any shit from Wes. All right, that's all I'll say. Just keep him in his place, and I'll help you along the way. It's fine.
You'll be the first one to accidentally swear probably on the broadcast. The same thing he did last time. Literally Friday, I think it was 3 hours in, and he said fucking or shit. I don't know. He threw it out on Friday.
Sounds like Wes.
Just got started. He actually came around later afterwards. He regretted. That's the thing about swearing on the broadcast. Is it sounds good in the moment, and then you're like, shoot, I probably shouldn't have done that. It's Anyway, we're getting off the rails here. I heard you mention 12-month roadmap as well. What did you think of that recent announcement? I know we didn't get any, proper information on what's happening with, let's say, Reach or a specific tournament, but we got this kind of a promise, a plan to make a plan, this whole 12-month schedule. What did you think of these little pillars that we kind of identified last week and everything?
I think if we keep everything in perspective, which is difficult to do because we're obviously all clamoring for any information we can get either on the game, on tournaments, whatever it is, that is such a huge announcement to come out with at this stage, with Halo Infinite still so far away. The fact that they're committing to a year-long program is... we can break down to a few little things. The first thing is, for players, for spectators, for orgs, everyone, that is such a vital thing for them to plan around. It means that, players know they have a year of competition already in the books where they can earn their money. That's players who might want to come into Halo as well, see, hey, this roadmap, I can play for 12 months here, and I can get really involved and invested with it. But even on our side as well, knowing as a professional who, has to make money and has a job to do, knowing that there's a potential for all these events as well is fantastic. Yeah. And there's also the announcement that they're looking to focus on other regions as well and build those regions. I mean, from an announcement this far out, I don't think anyone really could have asked for any more. If you look into the logistics of, they're not going to come out and say the first event is here. You know what I mean? We're so
here's some gameplay or something, or
exactly. That's not. It's not going to happen. We all know that it's not going to happen. But I think now that everyone's had a few days or weeks, or I can't remember how long it was ago now, to sort of digest that information, there is so much in that post to talk about that I could sit here and talk about it for another 3 hours, but I don't know if we've got time for that. So.
I mean, I tried to with Tashi, but it's hard to pick his brain on anything beyond the words on the page. Literally, it's just
so you're going to get
them in different words. It's all I can expect. But you're right, though. I mean, if you look through all of those pillars, I think each one of those core focuses, or what they're focusing on, essentially, is exactly what we're asking for, right? It's every single problem that we've had with Halo over the years, as far as structure, as far as region representation, all of these different issues that we need to have solved, and they're telling us that these are their core priorities going forward. So it's really, they have to follow through. If they follow through, though, I don't see how Halo could fail, honestly. Like it better work out, man. I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's a hell of a roadmap. It's a hell of a promise, and the ball's starting to roll now. We've got Twitch rivals, and hopefully more and more starts to happen after Atlanta. We'll see how that goes. Now, of course, Atlanta is our next big event here. I feel like Atlanta's kind of getting swept under the rug a little bit with the whole Twitch rivals and everything going on here. I want to kind of bring it back. I want to talk about these rosters. Have you seen them all? Do you have a link to them all? Because I have a link. You have it?
I've got it right in front of me. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'm prepared.
Okay, good. Because I have a link on Noob Combo of all of them, like top 12 seeds with all 4 players in each team. You got that? Okay.
Yep.
All right, sweet. How should we do this? We could literally just break down each team one at a time and kind of take a look and see what you think of these squads. Any big changes, stuff like that. Of course, on the top here, I see Tox and Lux. These are kind of the 2 dominant squads that haven't changed. Not too much to say other than I feel like they're probably going to maintain their position in 1 and 2. Tox, especially, just being dominant year over year. That's the expected position for them. Lux, I feel like they would follow suit. But then we have some interesting, results going down the roster. The first one is Mantra, Eco, I Got Your Pistola, Ace, and Snipe Down. What do you think of this setup right here?
I mean, all phenomenal players. You've got a good balance of players on that team as well. And it's good to see those players still have the drive to come out and compete, because you've seen like Roy and Lunchbox kind of go, okay, we've done our thing now. We're going to just take another little step back. But you've still got Eco, Pistola, Ace, Snipe Down. I mean, Snipe Down's been grinding Apex as well. Attended tournament
That's the thing.
Yeah. But they all still have that drive to get here to the tournament and compete and show how good they are. And you look at that roster on their top form, they're a potential tournament winning roster, right? It's just a case of, can they mesh? Can they find that little bit of something they need to go all the way? And they just need a big win. If they can take down Lux Gaming or Tox Gaming early on in the tournament, send them to the losers bracket, then there's no reason they can't win a tournament.
Yeah, definitely. Now, there is one change in this roster from last time. We had Frosty previously, and then Ace has taken Frosty's place. Do you think this improves the roster or the other way around? What do you think, trading out Frosty for Ace?
That's a tough question, isn't it? Someone's getting thrown under the bus.
Kind of. Yeah. I got a good middle of the road answer.
I'm going to be honest. I think Frosty, even now, she's a phenomenal Halo player, one of the best. Yeah. Even you saw what he did back at the last event, and everyone was like, "Oh my god!" Like, we didn't expect this from Frosty, even though it's Frosty, because everyone was like, "What's he going to be like on Halo 3? Is he going to be able to adjust?" Like,
right.
The dude was unbelievable. Arguably probably the best standout player at the tournament. If you want to take one player away that you're like, oh my god,
the last Dreamhack,
Dreamhack. Yeah, I'm talking about. So not the previous event, but
right. He
was unbelievable. But Ace is an amazing player in his own right.
Yeah.
But I am going to say, and I'm sorry, Ace, I love you, Aaron, but I think it's maybe a little bit of a downgrade, which is crazy to say because the guys are Halo 4 global champion. So.
Yeah, no,
Frosty's really good, right?
It's crazy. The talent that Frosty has is pretty unbelievable, considering the fact that he's way less practice at this point. He just kind of jumps in and it just works for him. It all clicks. And I was even watching, I don't know if you ever watched Paradise Halo. They have these really high quality videos, but my buddy Callus had broken down this macro play where narrows had been split in different directions and whatnot, and the game was literally saved by Frosty. He's just so aware that he managed to grab these final 2 kills and clutch it out, and it was really well explained play. But yeah, just the man, he's pretty unbelievable. At the same time, sorry,
he's the kind of player who I always think the best players in the world are the ones that you struggle to find mistakes, and when they do make a mistake, you are shocked that they made a mistake. Right. Frosty's one of those. When's the last time you're like, oh my god, that was such a bad play by Frosty, or he didn't hit that shot when he had to. I can't actually think of a circumstance where that's happened. So he's just good point. He's a freak, man. He's really good.
Yeah. I mean, at the same time, though, if I look at this team, I feel like Ace is actually the most well-practiced, though. I feel like he puts in the most work out of all 4 of the members here. So you would think, based off of practice, he'd be very well. I'm sure he's very well prepared for this, but I wonder how it'll play out. I don't know how Ace meshes with Like, is he? I'm sure they're all close with each other. They've all played with each other before, but I feel like the Frosty Eco duo was a pretty strong duo. I wonder how that'll transpire with Ace and Eco, and then you have Snipe Down and Ola. I'm not sure how much he's grinding in the background, but Snipe Down, like you said, he's playing Apex. And MattyRums, I talked to him before this. He said that Snipe Down actually hasn't played with the team at all. I don't think he's barely practiced with them on Twitch. He's actually been having a stand-in. Trunks has been performing in his absence, and they still hit this third place, I think, with Trunks. But damn, so it's Snipe Down. Like, once again, we're looking at a champion, so they could probably still pull it out. I mean, despite this similar kind of situation in the last tournament, they got second place still. So, expecting good things, but they're not. Most of them aren't too well practiced. They don't seem as focused as they might otherwise be. So,
Snipe Down's also. The thing is, if we're saying this about a game like that's been out for 6 months or a year, then that's a concern, right? But I mean, Snipe Down's been playing this game for 12 years.
Yeah.
And if you're not able to jump in and out of something you've been doing you're not going to get back on a bike and forget how to ride a bike, because that would be really weird. But like, he doesn't, the way that he plays as well, I think it just takes him a little bit of time to just maybe warm up, but he'll be fine. He's still Snipe Down. He won't be like a shadow of Snipe Down. He's still going to be a force to be reckoned with.
That's what I was thinking, is maybe all he needs is just pools in the morning to warm up, and then, he's good to go. The next team I got here is Simplicity Esports. This was previously Aspire, Straight Sick, Aries, Fantasy, and Shelly. They had a bit of an interesting run recently. Do you think they could maybe do better this time around, currently in the 4th seed?
A lot of talent on that team. I think this particular lineup was the same lineup as back in Atlantic City, Yep. So they showed what they could do there. A lot of it will come down to, I think, just individual plays. There's a lot of the players on this team have the ability to make huge individual plays, and Aries is kind of the glue. He kind of does it all kind of thing. But Fantasy especially is just such a fun player to watch. Like, he's one of those players who, if I'm teaming with him, like, would annoy me. Because, like, I'm seeing him, like half shields challenging someone with a sniper. I'm like, that's a bad play, because I don't hit that shot. In my head, if I do that, I'm making a bad play. But he does it so consistently that it's like, you just expect him to make plays, right? He's just absolutely insane. And I think Shelly is one of the most consistent players we have as well. And a lot comes down to Aries as well, and that kind of leadership that he brings. He's a super good communicator. And also, he is literally the king of power-ups. So I'm looking forward to seeing him with a lot of overshields this tournament.
Yeah, definitely going to be a well-coordinated team. Like you said about Fantasy, he's damn incredible, man. He's pretty scary when he goes off. And also about those plays, like I had Gabriel on just recently, and he was kind of laying it into him, saying that Fantasy makes all these like questionable plays that he shouldn't be making. And you're right. It's because he does, but he is so talented that he gets away with it. Like, I remember I was casting him, and I watched him get this crazy headshot going up the lift on Construct, and then line it up and like the sickest double. Like, it's the man blew my mind. He does it. One of these
players, right? Who's like, if he makes that play and he doesn't hit the shot, like he screws his team. Like, he does it, he'll give away a power weapon in a really important position, or he won't give his team the spawns they're looking for, but he just pulls it off. He reminds me a little bit of Frosty sometimes in Halo 5, how Brad used to just go, you'd be like, what are you doing? And then you'd be like, like, that's what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like, he has that just magical ability to do something that others can't. So he's one of my favorite players to watch.
Definitely. And it does feel like on this roster, he's got more freedom to kind of make those plays than he did previously. So hopefully that's a good thing for this team, and it gives them some consistency going forward. But I know they were the one team that was able to pretty definitively beat Tox, but then they lost to Fatal Ambition, and they lost early on as well. I think they lost to like, maybe not Mantra. I think they lost like Shotzi's team or something like that early on. So they struggled with other teams, but they beat Tox. So they have this weird kind of ability to take on one of the best, most dominant teams in the league, but they were struggling against other,
I think it's a little bit of complacency sometimes. Like, some teams get ahead of themselves. They're like, oh, this is the team we need to beat a tournament, and then they take their eye off the ball, and you can't do that. Like, if you go in a 5-game series, you lose the first game, you've only got a couple of games in the bank. Like, then the other team gets hyped, and I think they're a little bit guilty of that sometimes. They kind of overlook their opposition instead of playing like Tox never do that, right? Tox play first round in pools against an open bracket team and will play like it's the grand final. And they need to take that mentality on, I think, and just put that into their game, and they'll be fine. They're super talented.
That has to be one of the reasons why Tox is so dominant. Apart from just being talented players, is they do actually face every single match like it's the most important match. Like it's this. They have this like kind of selflessness to them where they never feel like they're like they know they win, but they don't act like they do. You know, like they're winners or champions or whatever. More so like
just ruthless. Like whoever they're playing, they don't care. Like if they're playing a couple of 10-year-olds, like they're going to be in 50-0. Like, and they're going to be like, what do you expect? For the best.
How bad can we win? I mean, you know, we're gonna win, but how perfect can we play this game? Next up we got Infinite, and we've got Commonly, Boo Boo Doo, Trippy, and Tusk. Seems like Infinite is the brand that picks up all the young, talented players. Because previously we had the Shotzi, Phallicated, those guys on there. Now we've got Commonly, Boo Boo, Trippy, Tusk, all very great players. What do you think of this roster here?
Again, it's a talented roster. I wonder how much practice has gone in this particular roster, but Commonly is always a player who I feel doesn't get enough credit for the work that he does, because he is in Halo 3. I always feel like there's one player who is a playmaker on your team who's willing to take a risk to either orchestrate a push or make a distraction, or basically allow your team to advance to either do an objective or take over a power position on a map, okay? And he's so good at doing that and staying alive and doing damage while he does it, that it sometimes doesn't show in statistics at the end. And it's one of those where I'm like, oh, you know, people will be like, oh, you can say that he does all this stuff, but, you know, he's always doing that, like not putting in numbers into a performance, for example. But like, he is unbelievable when you're watching him, and the amount of decisions that he makes. And I think every player who plays alongside Commonly looks better because they're playing alongside Commonly. He creates opportunities for his team, and someone like Booba Dooba and Trippy, like that's gold dust, because he's just going to allow them to relax and play their game. And I love watching Commonly play, especially on game types like Pit Flag. When he's last one alive, he's one of the most difficult players to deal with. Like he buys time so well, Commonly, like in anything he's doing. So I love watching them play. Yeah,
I'm curious to see this roster. I've got this feeling though that they kind of remind me of Fatal Ambition from Atlantic City. I got this feeling they're going to come out hot like Friday, Saturday, start mopping people up, but then they're going to lose steam. Like one of those teams that for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't see them in that top 2 spot, but they're all talented enough to get there. But I don't know if they have that X factor. I don't know what it is.
I know what you mean. You know, there's not a lot of tournament. I don't think there's any tournament wins between those 4 players, is there?
Apart from Trippy having the 2v2, the Trippy and Penguin with the 2v2, which was dominant, but it's different. It's different. Yeah, like if you're going raw gun skill with all 4 of these guys, they're crazy. But yeah, just when it comes to like team dynamic, going up against like a Snakebite Lethal, or you got your Lux Gaming, with all of the champions they have under their championships they have under their belt and whatnot, it's hard to say for sure. Divi Cloud is the next one at number 6 here. It's Dragonite, Neighbor, Phallicated, and Sab. And interesting seeing Neighbor on the roster. Apparently I heard he stopped. He wasn't going to play anymore. And then he got this last second. They offered to bring him on the team, pay for everything. And he's like, sure, why not?
I wish players had stopped doing is saying they're retiring.
Yeah, you can't do that if you're just going to come back.
Wasn't Royal Lunchbox retired a little bit ago? Like, there wasn't Neighbor retirement. Native was retired. Like, you're not retired. You just don't play for a bit. Just don't say you're retired. Like, you're gonna come back. You're gonna play at a tournament. Like, just stop pulling the wool over our eyes. We're cleverer than that. But obviously, good to see Neighbor back. Obviously, he's a fantastic human being. And again, Dragonite, I don't know too much about. I haven't seen him play at a tournament. Right. So I'm going to be like straight up about that. I'm looking forward to seeing him play, what he can bring to the roster. Falcated, one of the most consistent shots that you'll see. Sabernator, he's been grinding a lot of Halo 3. So yeah, it doesn't look like a crazy strong lineup. Maybe that's like one of the teams that some of the lower seeds will be thinking maybe we can take a series off. But
sure,
again, you got players who can pop off on that team. So
yeah,
we'll have to see. I think around top 8, which should be pretty consistent for them.
Yeah, top 8 makes sense. Yeah, you're right. I haven't seen Dragonite at all. Neighbor, of course, Falcade, Sabernator, they're all really great players. I do feel like I haven't seen them play together. I feel like it's a very recently kind of created team. I have no idea what their chemistry is going to look like. We're going to have to find out in Atlanta. But yeah, just like you said, I don't see anything like beyond. If they get top 4, I think it'd be kind of surprising for me personally. Believe the Hype, which is cool to see a Believe the Hype squad. I'm assuming, that's the actual Believe the Hype branding they're going with. You got Hypnotic, Cloud, Demon D, and Sorrel. What do you think of that?
Cloud and Demon D, obviously those two carrying the Believe the Hype name from the
there you go.
national champ winning team back on Halo 3. So those guys know how to get it done on Halo 3, as we all know. But again, a couple of names that I'm not particularly familiar with. Sorrel, no idea. Straight up, no idea. Never seen him play. Hypnotic, I've seen some gameplay of, and he's obviously a talented enough player to be playing alongside Cloud and Demon D. So, again, the thing I love about rosters like this, like, I don't know who Sorrel is, right? And there's a reason that someone like Demon D and Cloud are playing with them. And I keep looking ahead to Infinite, and I'm really guilty of this, because it's these kind of players that when a new game drops, all of a sudden we're like, whoa, look at this guy. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, he's a fantastic new player. Like, he could be a Shotzi, he could be a Frosty. You know, these kind of players. So these are the players that are always interesting to watch, and we'll definitely be pushing to get some of their POV when we see some of their series, just to see their decision making and you know how good they are. But yeah, I mean, again, it's a fairly solid roster. There's a lot of experience. There's some new blood in there, which is always an interesting mix. But maybe I don't think they're near that sort of top 4. To be honest.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like you said, there's a lot of unknown factors. Like if I go down the rest of this list here, like I see some pretty solid names, but more kind of like question marks are raised on whether or not these players like they must be great because they're teaming with other great players, but they haven't quite proven themselves in that way. And that's a good point about Infinite is just the work ethic that these players have grinding through Halo 3, getting as good as they can. Applying that to the next game, I think will be incredible. I'm sure we'll see some of these names start to come up into the spotlight quite a bit more. But and even just going down the rest of the list here, we've got Rain, which I recognize all these names actually. 100 JJX, Alumni.
Marcus
good
is
to
back.
see him there. Even Hoax is in here as well, which is great. And Frosty the Truth and Zerka. And Zerka, a really talented player as well. And the one interesting fact about this squad is that Matty told me, let me bring this up. He said it was qualifier 3. They finished top 4 in qualifier 3. So maybe some upset potential with this squad here. Very talented, very intelligent, very experienced players on this roster. What do you think? Got excited about a lot.
This is a super cool roster. The reason that I love Marcus so much is my first ever event that I came over to the States to do. Marcus was one of the first guys that kind of like was happy to like sit down and have a conversation with someone new to the scene, and like he was just super respectful guy. Super nice human being. I was like, not a bad bone in his body. And then Zerka's like really solid player. We saw what he did back on the one of the first GMS rosters. Like he was really solid in that. And Hunter JJX, I keep going on Twitter. I keep seeing clips.
Craziest clips. Yeah.
From Hunter JJX. All I'm saying is if you can do that on LAN and get some very good players, I'm interested. I'm buying into you. Okay, so let's see what your stock's like at a tournament. I'm interested.
Yeah, I am literally just going off the 100 JJX Twitter clips is where I'm getting all the information from, like how good he is as a player. We'll see how it goes for sure. I agree with you on Alumni. Not only is he an intelligent, talented player, but he's a great guy to talk to. He's so easy to talk to. I don't know. He was one of the people that you can approach and like get to know, as opposed to other players where it's kind of harder to break the ice. But with Alumni, it's never a problem. And then we have the 2 European squads here, which I feel like they could definitely do, especially with Jimbo, Haller, Snaky, Snipe Drone. I feel like they could do better than they're in the 10th seed right now. So we've got Chaotic, RBG. If you see these here, you got RBG Display, Sargoth, Stormy, Squall-Eye. Do you know these European players very well? What do you think about
Squall-Eye, I know. Sargoth is an American player. I think Display and Stormy are as well.
Oh, okay, so a bit of a mix here. My bad. Okay.
I might be wrong on that, but Squall-Eye, he's a decent player. He was never really at the top tier of European Halo, but one of those kind of individually talented players who grinds the game a lot. So good to see him get that opportunity. But Jimbo, Holler, Snaky, Snipe Drone.
That's a good squad.
It's kind of it's a good squad. It's the roundabout of European Halo. You always see like the same names just on different rosters. I don't know how much they've been playing. I don't know how much they've been practicing. But there's a lot of talent on there. I always find it funny when I see Hollers, because Hollers is like an amazing player now. But back when we were all playing Halo 3, sort of in the old days, his gamer tag was Jake So Nasty.
Okay.
And he was like a 49 in the playlist forever. And it was like a joke about like if you went against him, it was like easy win. But like he's amazing now. Like genuinely amazing.
He was a standout.
This is 10 years ago. Like,
right.
Like, there's a lot of things I wasn't very good at 10 years ago. and he's like awesome now. Snakey's what super consistent. Snipe Drone, we know what he can do, and Jimbo, we know what he can do as well. I think they'll be looking for top 6. I think that's what they'll be aiming for. If they get it, that'd be amazing. And I will be incredibly unbiased on the desk if that does happen, of course.
I'm sure. I only know that they struggle with just its practice is the difficulty, right? Like the latency.
It's always the case.
They probably don't get to scrim any of the NA teams at all, I imagine, as well. They just kind of got to go in face value on these qualifiers and hope for the best. So, yeah, but definitely, like you said, the talent's there. Hollers was a standout at Face It. I didn't really know who he was, and then all of a sudden he was saving the game in those last couple of matches there. So he was pretty incredible. And then we got 2 more on the bottom here. We got 80-20 with Riot Shock, Hoaxer. There he is. Kraken and Eli Elite. I recognize Eli Elite as well. And then on the bottom, Unlimited, Piles, Rowan, Rob the Turtle, and Paradigm. I'm sure these are very talented players. Whether or not they can get past their current seedings remains to be seen. I'm not sure. I know Hoaxer was in the last one in Atlantic City. They struggled though. He had a slightly different roster, and I think they ended up at dead last there, which is a little unfortunate.
Not enough maps with a carbine on for Hoaxer. That's what it really was. You get carbine, it's game over.
Elbow, carbine, elbow. Yeah. That's his thing apparently. But yeah, that's what we've got for our top 12 seeds. They have been split up into different pools, and then each pool, of course, has a TBD slot for the open bracket. Whoever makes it up into these pools here, but ultimately, I don't think whoever makes it into the pools will upset any of these dominant teams. You've got Pool A, Tox Gaming, Rain, RBG. Pool B is Lux, Believe the Hype, Chaotic. Pool C, Team Mantra, Divi, Cloud, 80-20, and then you've got Pool D, Simplicity, Esports, Infinite, and Unlimited. Any crazy pools here? Something that you're looking forward to casting? Break it down the desk with me.
I'm looking across them now. I mean, I don't think there's going to be. I think you're looking at Pool D. Maybe is the one that will have a really interesting series between Simplicity and Infinite.
There you go. Yeah.
Maybe Lux versus Chaotic as well might be very interesting. The Europeans going up against one of the best teams that we have on Halo 3 at the moment. It's always interesting to see kind of how they get on, if they can raise their game to really challenge them. But I think Pool A looks fairly comfortable for Tox. I mean,
very comfortable for Tox.
When does it not? And yeah, I think that Pool D is the kind of the most interesting one to watch as far as tight competitive games are concerned. That's kind of that'll set a standard, I think. But the thing is as well, when you have 2 teams that are super tight in a pool, when they come out of that pool, they're playing at a certain level, right? They're being forced to play at that high level. So if they go into bracket play the next day, having been challenged, having been pushed, if they take on someone like Tox who's had an easy day one, they can catch them off guard.
Good point. So yeah, good practice for these guys, especially like you said, for Simplicity Infinite, if they can get through that and win those really close, intense matches early on and get some of that momentum. But yeah, that's kind of all the rosters that we have here. Do you think the order of seeding is going to be kind of the order of the final results, or do you think something's going to change around, or is there a team with like incredible upset potential here that it may not show on the board?
I think it's pretty close. I think it's going to be pretty good. Yeah, that's a pretty good layout of how you would imagine, looking at the teams, experience, mix of players, etc. I think the only one that maybe might be able to push their way up, but genuinely, and I'm not just saying this, might be the European team. Right. They could force their way into the top 8, top 6.
Chaotic, yeah.
Yeah, if it's just how they play on the day. If they get rolling and their chemistry's good, I think they've been trying to scrim against some North American teams on their hosts. So they're trying to do the right things, and they're trying to make sure they give themselves the best possible chance. So always rooting for my boys,
Yeah, no, I feel it. I agree with you, though. I think Chaotic is one of the teams that can get from 10 to at least maybe the top 6. I was thinking Infinite might be like a good upset squad potentially, because they got so much young talent on here. Like you could see them go any which way, right? Like I feel like they'll start out hot. If they can carry it, then great. I wonder if Lux Gaming will maintain the dominating, just run that they had in that last tournament. They actually never got to face Tox. Very curious to see how that plays out, because they didn't play each other. That's definitely going to happen, I assume, this time around. But yeah, they kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I know they're very talented players, but just to be that dominant still surprised me to this day. So curious to see how that goes. But yeah, I think everything is kind of set out pretty correctly. Other than that, I don't see anything that's. I
think Tox had a little bit of a. They always get a little bit of a wake-up call, which is a scary thing whenever they lose a tournament, however big the tournament is, wherever it is, and whatever's on the line. And I don't think they like losing. So you've seen they've all been playing a lot more than they did, I think, before the last tournament. which indicates to me that they are not prepared to take another second place, so we say. So
yes.
I get the feeling that if Lux play them, they'll be looking to sort of reassert their dominance and just remind them exactly who they are. So that'll be a fun series if it happens.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing it. But that's everything I got for these rosters today. What's next, do you think? We've got Atlanta. We got no announcements of future events. We got these Twitch rival tournaments with the hope of more Twitch rivals in different games. Any predictions on anything coming up?
Looking for my crystal ball.
Yeah.
I don't.
Come on, just give me.
I have no idea. I don't know. I know as much as you do.
I know. I wish I had somebody with some foresight here, so I could.
I don't know. I think what I would like to see is a PC tournament. That's what I'd like to see.
Yeah,
and I know that
PC
might
players,
upset.
see how that goes.
I don't mind if people. I'm not even bothered about that. If people want to plug a controller in, best of luck. But like, I want to see some PC players have the opportunity.
Shroud. Who are the Dr. Disrespect?
Get Summit here.
Pilot One.
Spend the cash. Give them that money. Get all here. I'm sure.
They got them on Mixer already.
I'm sure they love Halo that much that they will do it for free, right? But it's we need to garnish that audience. We need to take advantage of the hype that's being, slowly created here, and everyone's excited for MCC to come and play some old Halo, but it's all about getting that PC market engaged with the Halo franchise and kind of lighting that flame, so to speak, that everyone kind of has still burning in them somewhere to play Halo for when Infinite drops. Like, all of this needs to it needs to not be wasted energy. It needs to be used in the right way. It needs to be focused in the right way so that we have an end product when Infinite drops. All those PC players are super excited to play. They want to play Halo again. We've got it in front of those PC players for loads of eyes, or PC players who don't know about Halo to come and enjoy it. And all of this needs to be taken advantage of. If we've got MCC there, even if it's an exhibition tournament, even if it's a showcase tournament, it's not an open event. And I know that might frustrate some people, me saying that, but there's a bigger picture here. And this is all working towards Infinite, in my personal opinion. It's great if we have another open event. Of course, events are fantastic for the community. It's always great to get everyone together and play. But I think if we're realistic and honest about where we are at the moment, we're ticking over, right? Okay, we're ticking over until Infinite. So I just want to see every step that's taken. I'd rather us invest time, effort, and money into what is going to happen when Infinite drops than misplacing some energy into kind of just rolling along and for the sake of it. I want to see some with decisions made with events or whatever does happen next that looks at that PC market and thinks of ways that we can get them invested in the franchise we love.
Yeah, I don't think it's good enough to just kind of coast and then Infinite. You got to make some big, bold plays before that and get people excited, get the ball rolling, get the momentum generated, and then Infinite lands. Plant the seeds. Now that I think about it, though, they need to make sure they fix everything and get this game flawless. Like, it's playing perfectly, and then put it in the hands of Shroud and Ninja and everybody, because right now I think Summit is a really good person to pay attention to. I'm just watching his stream, listening to his opinions on things, because when he loves it and he thinks it's perfect, then great. Then you can put it on the lap of another PC player who may not be as much of a diehard Halo fan, and they might have some more criticisms, because you never want to be in that position where that huge streamer is playing it and complaining about a bunch of stuff, because then, you know what I mean, the Halo community will take it off the wall. So it's got to be running flawlessly, and then give it.
I think it's not even with MCC that again that carries over to Infinite as well. We don't want Infinite to drop and there to be the opportunity for negativity to come towards the game before we've even got rolling again. We want to start off on the right foot. We need to. That's why, as frustrating as it is that things are taking so long, I'd rather them take. I genuinely would rather add another 6 months onto an Infinite release date and have the game perfect out of the box, then release it when we're going to release it, and there be issues. That's the thing for me. And I can't stress how important that is, because otherwise, all the work, all the effort, everything that goes a week in, it's done. People are fickle. People have short attention spans. There's thousands of other games out there,
especially now.
If we want to grab a new audience, and people are paying for Halo, just remember there's free games out there now as well that people don't have to pay money for.
Yeah,
we need to be perfect on launch. Everything needs to be right. And as I say, I'd rather them take another 6 months. Yeah. When we have Infinite, everyone goes, wow, this game plays beautifully. This game is amazing. I'm fine with this for another 4 years. You know, whatever it is, however long it is until Halo Forever or whatever they're going to call it comes out.
I mean,
so,
it is infinite, so it's basically already the Halo Forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe this is the last one. It's just going to last forever.
They could add updates to it. I have no idea what kind of platform they're trying to build. But you're right. It does have to, like, I want to agree with you and say let's wait 6 months. But then if I'm waiting 6 months, then what, do they launch it in the summer or something when it's not like the peak time to launch it? So what, do we wait another year? Like, I can't wait another year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, I'm like, it better be good when it
better be good.
More my point. It's
I'm
like, I don't
scared
want to
of
wait
it,
another
too.
6 months. I'm going to be pissed if I wait another 6 months. But like, it's, I just.
You want it to be perfect, like running well. And it's, yeah.
Well, download, whatever. People don't buy games anymore, do they? Forget that.
It does suck that we haven't seen anything yet, though. And I mean, like, it's happened before. We've had games that have come out and been amazing. We haven't seen gameplay until maybe the summer beforehand or something. But I think even Halo 5 had a winter beta, right? Didn't it have like the winter beta, and then came like they were showing video footage of the campaign like 2 years in advance or something. So it makes me a little nervous. But I think 343.
That kind of like that sick you get in your belly when you're like, oh god, like what's this gonna be? It's like that feeling after an exam, like before or after an exam. Do you know what I mean? When you're not sure, but you think you've done okay, and like it's that horrible nauseating feeling.
Your friends about
and then one of your friends comes and goes, "Did you get the questions on the back of the page?" And you go, "No, I didn't realize there was a second page." And no, but it's, you know what I mean. It's like that. I think everyone's desperate to see something, but at the same time, everyone's like, please be good. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's that thing, isn't it? It's like, if we get shown something and it's like, what is this? Then it's like, what do we do then? So I think they're just making sure that everything's good, you know, before they show us. They don't want to, the worst thing they could do is show us something, again, that isn't up to standard. So I'd rather them take their time and show us something that's sick when they do.
Socks off along the way. Yeah. Yeah. So as I end all my episodes these days, I guess we'll have to wait and see. Is the main comment I got for this? We're always waiting and seeing what's going to happen next. But we do have stuff for you guys to watch. We got Twitch Rivals. I think it's still happening. I'm going to go jump over there as the first thing I'm going to do after this and just watch more of that. Just get where the ball's starting to roll, and hopefully that just creates more excitement and opportunities for Halo and bigger events, and more opportunities for us to sit on the desk and talk about it too. It's going to be exciting. Yeah, so Onset, that's everything I got today, man. Thank you so much for joining me on this quick episode, and looking forward to seeing you in Atlanta, man.
I will see you in a few days. Thank you for everything as always, mate, and have a good evening.
No problem. Have a nice evening, man. All right, guys, that's everything for tonight's episode. Here I am getting all tongue-tied at the end of it. But of course, go make sure to enjoy Twitch Rivals right after this. We'll close off the episode with our merch as well. Make sure to check out the merch here. Everything you purchase here not only supports me, it supports the show as well. And you guys already know I would highly appreciate that. I will see you next week. I believe I'll be coming off of the airplane, getting right back onto this show. We'll be talking about Dreamhack Atlanta and all the exciting things that transpire. Make sure to watch me and Onset coming up this weekend at Dreamhack Atlanta. I'll see you guys next week, though. In the meantime, have a good night.